Hello, viewers, and a very warm welcome to this very special episode of The Newsmakers, the show where we bring to you eminent personalities and their success stories from all walks of life. And the purpose is to ignite the sense of motivation, inspiration, and empowerment through their success stories and life changing achievements. Because at Newsmakers, we aspire to inspire you. Hi, I am your host, Simran Nagpal, for the series of Newsmakers. And I'm really honored and privileged to be hosting this special episode with a very special guest who has transformed millions of people all across the world. She is a globally renowned spiritual leader, mentor, and teacher at Brahmakumaris. She is highly regarded for her teachings for inner growth and self transformation. Please allow me to welcome Sister Shivani on the sets of the Newsmakers. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much.
Such a privilege to have you here, ma'am. Since the time I've got to know that I'll be here next to you, talking to you, I have lots of questions in my mind. And the first foremost question that goes is, please tell us about your spiritual journey. You as a spiritual leader.
Not as a spiritual leader, as a spiritual student. It's a student. It's the journey of a student. And that too, it's not a journey which was decided. It was not a journey where I was seeking or finding something. I was very comfortable in my life as a student, and I did my engineering, very comfortable there. Because when we're talking of an era which was 30 years back, life was simpler compared to today. We didn't have the word stress. It was only in physics. So as long as academically you were doing fine and everything is fine at home, I think life was quite simple. So in that era, I was at least personally not looking for meditation, not looking for spirituality. And then my mother started coming to the Brahma Kumari centers. She started meditating. And then obviously it was at home. She was talking about it. And because she was benefiting it, obviously she would want all of us, the rest of the family, to experiment with it. But I was still not interested. And I was like, mujhe zarurat nahi hai. I'm not finding the need for it. But she continued her journey at home and she would take us to the center on and off, just dekho ke kya hai. So just come to the center for that. And I liked the place. I loved the people. Everything was fine. I even liked the gyan. But I said, I don't need it. I don't need it. Meri life theek chal rahi hai. So I used to go just as a friend, not as a student.
Okay.
Not as a student that I want to study. So, but she continued her journey, and I think that started changing the vibration in the house and her energy that she was radiating. And then one day about 26 years back, I think 26, 27, I just said on my own one morning, even I want to learn. Matlab, there was no reason for it.
Okay.
There was absolutely no reason. There was no situation. There was nothing. It just, I just said like, everything is nice over there, so I should also see what it is. So I just said one morning. But now when I look back, I know that it is the vibration of the other person which starts influencing us.
Absolutely.
And especially when it is the mother figure who cooks for you. So through cooking also, the vibrations affect. So who is cooking for us, their thought processes start affecting us predominantly. And so one morning I just said, I want to learn. And so I started going to the center. I started learning it. I liked it. And it's been a very gradual. It was not like, as in
one day transformation.
It was not like that.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very slow, gradual, taking it, experimenting with it, using logic, trying to put logic into everything.
Okay.
Spirituality is very logical, but it's more experiential. Once you experience it, you don't need any proof for it. But being from a scientific background, I was trying to put some logic into every explanation, trying to find what is the proof of this. So that's why my journey was a little slow, but it was good fun. And the journey continues, that it's a journey of self-change. It's a journey of raising your vibration from where we are to. So it's a journey which continues. So I would have been here, then I've moved here, and gradually I have to move way up higher. So that's the journey.
This is so very wonderful because I know you're coming from the background which is science.
Yeah.
And you've always been founding logics here. And viewers, you see, ma'am is like commendably doing this, changing lives of people. And I'm really wanting to know, ma'am, that this is the time of, this lot of success that people are wanting to have. But success never comes easy. It comes with a lot of failures, anxiety, fears. And this is the kind of emotion that we are dealing every day. I would really want you to help us with this particular emotion.
Definition of success is important.
Mm-hmm.
We have called achievement as success today only.
Mm-hmm.
So in what I do as a performer, as an achiever, in my profession, if I do well as a student in school and college, if I do well, and well is, if this is my capacity, I'm doing better than that. So if I achieve marks, grades, ranks, status, position, role, the world calls me successful. But is that success only? That is most important. So on that journey of achievement, sometimes things will go our way, sometimes things will not go our way. That is a journey, right?
Okay.
So even if I see it as a student, sometimes I'll get 90 marks, sometimes I will get 85, sometimes I might even get 70. That's my journey of how much effort I put in, sincerity. That is achievement, not success.
Mm-hmm.
It is only one part of our life. Our life is about how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
Here, how am I feeling? Then what's the health of my body? How are my relationships? And how is my achievement? So it's like 4 pillars of a table. Okay, now this is a sofa on which we are sitting. It is on 4 legs. And this is success when all 4 legs are balanced. And so the sofa can be used for the purpose for which it has been designed. If the 4 pillars of my life, which is how I'm feeling, which is emotional and mental health, how my body is feeling, so which is my physical health, how are my relationships at home, at work, and in society, that's my social health, and how is my achievement, that's my professional health. If all 4 are balanced, then the purpose of my life is getting fulfilled, then I am successful. But if I am saying only achievement, and it doesn't matter, I'm stressed, I'm angry, I'm hurt, and my body is not the perfect health, and my relationships are having conflict, and I'm calling myself successful, then I've got the definition wrong. So in achievements, I can go up and down, but as far as success here is concerned, we can be successful always. For example, there are 2 children in school. One child is a topper always. Always, let's say topper always, not just in academics, in sports, in extracurricular, everything. But when it comes to sanskar, the nature of that child could be very egoistic, could be very arrogant, is not sharing what he knows or she knows with anybody, can be rough and tough in talking. But because that child is achieving, everybody will call that child successful. That child will be awarded, applauded, everything, because that child has achieved. Doesn't matter how his sanskars are. There is another child who's not doing well academically, who's not a part of any extracurricular activities, but is very humble, very caring, a lot of cooperation with everybody, full of kindness and humility. But because that child is not achieving, we have labeled that child as a failure. This is our failure for having put the labels wrong. This is our failure. So we are saying that a person who is full of goodness and purity and humility is a failure because that person did not achieve that many marks or that performance. And that's from school, where our definition of success was not put right. So today we have achievers, and it's not that we don't have to achieve, but success is having your sanskars right and then achieving up to your capacity. Everyone's capacity to achieve will be different, right? Everyone's IQ is different, talent is different, skill is different. But sanskars, everyone can have purity, humility, and kindness. So we have created a sansar, a world, which is full of achievements, but at the same time, which is full of stress, anxiety, mental health issues, physical health issues, relationship conflict, environmental issues. Can we call this world successful? Is a question mark. So definition of success, let's create beautiful sanskars. The law is संस्कार से संसार बनता है. मतलब मेरे संस्कारों से मेरा संसार, my world.
Yes.
My world, and then of course the bigger world is from here. So to create a successful world, I need to create the right sanskars. When I create the right sanskars, my mind will be powerful, my body will be healthy, my relationships will be in harmony, and as far as my achievement is concerned, I will perform more than my capacity. Maybe not more than your capacity, maybe not more than anybody else's capacity, but because my mind is calm, peaceful, powerful, I will definitely perform more than my capacity. My table is balanced with all the 4 pillars there. That is what is success. In Hindi, the word is very beautiful. It is safalta. सफलता मीन्स ऐसे हम कहते हैं ना, मैंने आज का दिन सफल किया, मेरा ये समय सफल हुआ, क्या मेरा जीवन सफल हुआ, which means was it worthwhile what I have done my time, which means being a giver. So success actually means to be a giver.
Wow.
Today we have said success means how much I have acquired. Success means a giver from here and in what you are doing. And that way, every human being can be successful. Every human being can be successful and then achieve. And when you are successful here, and then your achievements are sometimes your way, sometimes not your way, you will not get stressed and depressed. You will just take it like a journey. It's like on the road. Sometimes it's a straight highway. Sometimes it is ubad-khabad rasta hai. Sometimes it is a speed breaker. But if you're happy, you're enjoying the entire drive. But if you're irritated, you will complain for everything. But the road is what the road is. It's about how you are here. So keep yourself right here and you are successful always.
Wow, so it is all about sanskars that we have. So viewers, just notice that how simplified ma'am has told that you have to be giver in the society. And here we have such a warm and such a wonderful personality who's giving all her love and her knowledge to all of us. Ma'am, we are in this digital world. Everything we have is on phone. Like literally we are working all about on phone these days. It's really affecting our relationships. I've really noticed because at home also when you see that your child is also on phone, there's a lot of communication gap. And not only this, but being parent and the child, it's everywhere because people would not want to sit and talk. They would just want to be on phone and communicate. Now this is coming as a big hindrance for, you are not able to express yourself.
If we had to go and talk to the person who invented this phone, the mobile, he would say, I created it so that your relationships will become beautiful.
Right.
Naturally, no?
Yeah.
Because we're always connected. We're able to share. We're able to update each other. Imagine that era where you travel from one city to the next, and by the time you reach there, and then you send your letter that I have reached, and then it reaches your parents, and then your parents send a reply. It would take days in between. I mean, we've lived in that era, so it would take days in between.
Yes.
And imagine just your flight is landing. It has not even stopped yet, and you message landed.
Right.
And then they send you a blessing, love you, ashirwad. So relationships should be, because your communication has gone to a higher level.
Correct.
Earlier, the communication was not like what it is today. So it is not the phone which is the problem. Phone has made people's life extremely comfortable. Relationships always connected, always in touch, always able to share and care for the other person. The only thing is how we are using the phone. So it's about us. It is not about the sadhan. It is about my sadhana. It is about my self-discipline. It is my self-discipline which I have compromised, because of which something designed to make our lives comfortable, we are blaming it for causing conflict in our life. So what has happened with the phone is, one, it is flooded with content now. Okay? So it's not anymore just a gadget for communication. It's become more a gadget for information and entertainment. And since the time we have all these handles and these platforms with videos and audios and posters and articles and everything, I can literally keep myself engaged with that phone 24/7. That phone has that capacity. All that content has that capacity. So now it is my choice. How much time am I going to spend with it? And am I going to allow that content to hook me like that? It is designed to hook me. It is designed. We know it. And most of the platforms are designed to play with our minds. It's addictive. It is addictive. So remember when we were kids, if we opened a packet of chips and we started eating, we knew we wouldn't put it down till we finish because it is designed to be addictive. It has something in it which is addictive. So it used to be up to us कि कितना खाना है. And after that we would say, enough. Now I'm not going to eat more, now tomorrow. So that was our self-discipline. Those who didn't have self-discipline, they'll finish the whole packet and pick up another packet. It's not the fault of the packet or that chips. It is my self-discipline. So now same comes with technology. First and foremost, to remember that content is our emotional diet. So like we take care of our physical diet, now all the more, what should I eat? What should I not eat? What time should I eat? So careful with all that. This is our emotional diet. So what we watch, what we read, what we listen is who we become. That we should have it like a poster in front of us till it gets fitted inside. That what I am consuming is becoming my sanskar, my personality. My personality is creating my karma, and my karma creates my destiny. So content is equal to destiny. Now I have remembered this, that content is equal to my personality, that is my sanskar, is equal to my destiny. Now I will only consume that content which will give me those sanskars that I want to become. But if I consume content which has lust, which has ego, which has violence, which has aggression, which has crime, which has fear, which has ridicule, which has criticism, now that is my choice. So if I am consuming that, I am becoming that. And if I am becoming that, then my vibrations in my relationships have changed. It is not about the time that I'm spending with my phone. It is about what I am consuming from that gadget. So when I consume so much of negative content, here my success is failing. You see, that is what is happening here. So now my tolerance level, my power to adjust, my power to forgive, my power to let go, my power to keep quiet when someone has said something which is not my way, that is reducing because I have been taking a toxic diet. So my emotional immunity system is collapsing. And then you say one word and I will snap. I will get irritated. It's not because of the phone. It is because my emotional health is depleting because of the content I am consuming. So it is two things. How much time I spend, but more than that, it is what I consume. So somebody will say, I can spend only 1 hour. But if they consume all junk in that 1 hour, and somebody can consume for 2 hours, but if they're consuming healthy content. So let's say this program that we did, Awakening, and there is a lot of content like that on them. It is a content which is helping people to change their mind and their thought process towards a positive direction. So if someone is consuming for, let's say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, after that half an hour, they have consumed a content which is of acceptance, which is of letting go, which is of adjustment, which is of sending blessings to someone who is not even right to you. So after consuming that 15-20 minutes, now if something happens in that relationship, their way of responding to the other person will change. And so there are so many people who would say, we were on a verge of divorce, we've come out of it, I was going through a depression, I've healed my mind. That's also content. So that is when I at least understood, even before social media came, I understood when we saw the impact from TV, that only 25 minutes of content, they have not even come to the center, they've not even learned meditation. How are they creating so much? For me, it was actually quite a question mark, that how are they creating so much change sitting at home? Because they consumed religiously every single day, and that started creating their personality. And that's where I realized media is very powerful. No wonder it's called so powerful. But if 20-25 minutes of positive content can heal my relationship, then hours of negative content, can it not create conflict in my relationship? It's just simple. It's just simple. So it is about quality of content. So the next time you're scrolling, you're surfing, you're just clicking, just pause. This is creating my personality, and that is creating my destiny, which means my mental health, my physical health, my relationships, and will also affect my career, my profession. So consume content which is energizing. Consume content which is uplifting. Sitting on a Sunday saying, binge watching, I watched all the 10 episodes. Is that a de-stressor? No, you have suddenly raised your stress levels very high because you have consumed content which is a question mark. language, vocabulary, thought processes. What are you consuming? And today what you are consuming, tomorrow your children are consuming. So we started consuming at an age of 25, 30. They are consuming at an age of 4 and 5. Do we even know what impact this will have on the children? And then you come to social media. It is all about, I need people to approve of me. I need people to like me. My self-respect has dependent on how many people liked me today, how many people said nice things to me today. Even earlier, what people said about us mattered to us, but they were known people. They were my family. They were my friends. Now, to unknown. Koi bhi aa jaye stranger and they should like me, they should comment nice on me if somebody didn't say anything. So my self-esteem becomes very, very vulnerable, and I start creating that kind of content and posting that kind of content, just what the world will like and what people will like more. And so I don't remain who I am. I just start becoming what unknown people out there somewhere in the world want me to be. Personality conflict ho jayega. So it's not just a relationship issue with another person. It's going to become a relationship issue within my own self. And what when little children start doing it? Itne chote bacche hain, and they have their own social media handles and they are using all these handles to connect. They don't know who they are connecting to. And then they're trying to take their photos, they're trying to take their videos in a way which is not their age. It's not their age. They have a lifetime to do all that. At a very young age, they're trying to become very, but then their innocence, their purity is getting lost. Because they're watching what other people are doing and who got more likes, and they're trying to become that. Their self-esteem, which is the foundation of our life, is not getting created. The foundation is only not getting set. So it's not about how many hours. It's about what I'm consuming. So let's get back self-discipline. Let's remember this is an addiction now. These things have been designed to manipulate our mind. Once I watch this, it'll keep on sending me more and more of that. And I will start feeling this is the best content on the planet because it's coming again and again and again to me. It's designed with that purpose. And they're openly saying it's designed with that purpose. Now, it is for us to wake up and de-addict ourselves. Otherwise, there are some countries who already have de-addiction centers for technology.
Okay.
So they already have de-addiction centers, so we need to take care.
Wow, how wonderfully explained, my dear viewers. By now, you know that the kind of content that you're watching, that matters the most. And yes, please make sure that your kids are watching the right content. Ma'am, so good to have you here. And again, I'm repeating this because there are lots that I need to ask you. This one thing that I would like to know is there is this corporate world, the being the number one always. Such a cutthroat competition we have. We just want to be outstanding. Like you just said that, our thoughts make us and we would really be wanting to be standing out. And we also creating stress for ourselves by watching this. But being in the corporate world, there is always a competition there. You want to be the number one. So now how should we overcome this emotion of, just be calm in the situation or do good, but be calm at the same time?
We are in Noida right now, right?
Yes.
Let's get into our own cars and let's just drive up to Greater Noida. It's a straight expressway.
Yes.
Sunday morning, very nice drive. You will be in your car, I will be in my car. First and foremost, our cars will be different.
Yeah.
Okay? So every car will have its own capacity. You drive with your family, I'll drive with my family. It's a Sunday morning for you, enjoy yourself. It's a Sunday morning for me, I'll enjoy with my family. We're eating in the car, we're singing, we're talking, we're listening to something, and we are driving. It's our drive, right? My drive, your drive is different. Somewhere on the way, we look at each other and we say, let's race. There was no race. You were going your way, I was going my way. Both of us would have reached Greater Noida and both of us would have had a beautiful time while driving to that place, okay? So it's not about reaching the place, it's about the drive. But when we looked at each other and we said, let's race, can you visualize how the rest of the journey will be now?
Too much of anxiety just to be number one.
So now after that, you're not interested in eating. You're not interested in talking to the rest of your family. You're just saying, keep quiet. Let me focus here because I have to go ahead of her. Now, the whole priority has changed now of life. Now, it's not about having a good time on the journey. Now, it's about going ahead of the other person. So now you're just driving that way. Okay, you have to go ahead of this other person. Okay? Fine. Now, the whole scenario and the energy has changed. Suppose your child looks at you and starts talking to say, "Chup karo, mujhe unke aage jana hai. No time for all of you now. My priority has changed." Then, your car, my car is different. Okay? Let's say I'm driving in a Mercedes. You're driving in a Maruti. Try however hard, the Maruti cannot go ahead of the Mercedes. But because you have this thing that it is a race and you want to go ahead of me, you will use your Maruti in whatever possible way to go ahead of the Mercedes, which is going to create a mistake. But फिर भी your car is not going ahead of me because capacity is different. So let us remember, intellectually, talent-wise, skill-wise, everyone has a different capacity. Okay? We should use our capacity and use the best of our capacity. But my capacity cannot be the same as your capacity. That's one thing clear. But you're still not being able to go ahead of me. Now there's a red signal somewhere. I stop because it's a red signal. So I will stop. You feel this is the only time for you to go ahead. And then you will break the red signals of life just to go ahead of other people. And that's what we are doing. We're compromising on our values, on our principles, on our sanskars, on our ethics, on our work-life balance, on our self-discipline. We're compromising on everything because we want to break that red signal of life where the other person has stopped and we are ready to go ahead of it. That's going to create stress. Chalo, you've gone ahead. I'm also following. Somewhere on the journey, my car has an issue and I'm stuck in the middle of the road. Okay? I'm stuck there. अब आप पीछे से आ रहे हैं. You're coming. You see me there. That I'm stuck in the middle of the road. My car's had a puncture or whatever reason and I'm stuck there. Would you stop to help me? Would you stop to help me?
No, I would want to just run faster than...
That's it. Now you see what we have become. So what have we become? Which means your sanskar of helping, caring, cooperation, everything is finished. You will actually cross me. Seeing me there, stuck on the road, you will cross by me and in a very subtle way actually be happy. Actually be happy that I am stuck and you're going to get to go ahead. This is what we have become. Only because we thought it is a race. But if you thought that it is your journey and my journey, and if you saw me stuck there, you would have got out of your car, helped me, we would have connected with each other, we would have made friends, and then again both of us would have driven on our own journey. And that journey would have been a beautiful experience. At the end of the day, both of us will reach Greater Noida, but how was the experience? So that is life. There is no competition. This is a word that we have created. And we have made it so powerful that today even a husband and a wife are competing, even a father and a son are competing at business. Everybody is competing with each other because competition is a sanskar. It is a sanskar. A parent asks the child, आपको कौन ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, मम्मी के पापा? And the child looks at them, मतलब ज़्यादा क्या? I like both of them. They'll say, नहीं, ज़्यादा कौन सा अच्छा लगता है? मतलब यहाँ भी competition चल रहा है. And then if the child says to the mummy, मुझे मम्मी अच्छी लगती है, the mummy is happy about it. That the child is saying, नहीं पापा कम अच्छे लगते हैं. We are instilling right in that little kid that it is not same, it is kam zyada, always kam zyada. You have to choose like that. The child did not even know that something like that existed. We are teaching them. Life is not a competition. Profession is not a competition. It's my journey. So whether you're in school, whether you're in college, whether you're in profession, work extremely hard. Give it more than your capacity and then drive towards your goal. And so go ahead, but go ahead of your capacity. Right? So if I'm driving my car, I have to use my car to its best capacity so that I reach in the time that I have decided. I don't have to go ahead of other people. They are on their own journey. I'm on my journey. So I would live life that way. Not looking at other people's driving. Driving my way safely, with discipline, stopping at all the red signals, and definitely stopping to help people. That is our sanskar. So life is a beautiful journey. Professional life is also a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey. But we have called it the word competition and we are not enjoying our journey. We are just saying stress, stress, stress. Aise karte karte, COVID showed us life is very uncertain. Suddenly, the soul will leave the body. And what did I experience in that lifetime? Only stress and competition. And then it's not just competition, it's jealousy. It's pulling down people. We don't even realize we create wrong karma.
Yeah.
In a very subtle way, I want to go ahead of you. I will just say 2 lines about you, which is going to change people's image about you. And I don't even realize I've just created a karma. So I might be ahead of you in the race, but as far as my karma and destiny is concerned, I'm way behind. I'm way behind. If I've indulged in any subtle karma also to pull you down or to go ahead myself. So go ahead, but go ahead only of your own capacity and help people to go ahead of their capacity. Help people. The more you will help people also to go ahead, you're earning a lot of blessings and pure wishes. And when you earn all that blessings on the journey, you go way ahead of your own capacity. What you had never thought, you will achieve because you're doing it with beautiful karma and blessings. So life is not a competition. There's no such word as competition.
Wow. So viewers, now you know that life is not a competition. It's a beautiful journey. And that's how ma'am has told us that how beautifully we have to live our life. So there is no rat race.
Imagine calling yourself a rat and then putting yourself in the race.
Absolutely. So, Pap, there is a word called expectation, and it is the mother of all the sufferings. We are all here expecting I should look nice today. It's like we've been talking all about it. It's me. I have to be the number one. I have to look nice, and then we also expect the same from the other person to come and compliment me because I'm dressed properly or whatever. So these expectations eventually kill us. I really want you to tell us that how should we get out of this emotion?
See, you're already giving all the answers. It's a suffering. It actually affects us.
Yes.
So we know it's not comfortable.
Yes.
But what is the meaning of expectation? Here, it's the I. Okay, the I, the energy. This is my body. This is the I. Now, this I is full of love, purity, peace, and power. So let's visualize this as a battery. Okay. So if you are experiencing peace, power, love, happiness, this battery is charged. When this battery is charged, my acceptance of situations and people is very high. Because I'm already happy. I don't need you to do anything or to be a certain way for me to be happy. I'm happy and then meeting you. Right? So my acceptance level is very high. Now, suppose you say something to me which is not very right according to protocol. I will remain untouched because I'm already happy. I'm already powerful. I will in fact radiate blessings and pure wishes to you if you behave wrongly to me. Then while we are doing this shooting, something suddenly goes wrong and my time estimation goes wrong, my schedule goes wrong, I will be fine. Why will I be fine? Because I'm energizing myself daily basis here. So when we energize ourselves on a daily basis, soul power is high, acceptance level is automatically high. That is called emotional fitness. Now, if I don't energize myself on a daily basis and this soul power is weak, and then I say stress is normal, anger is normal, then I don't have the power to accept you, to accept the situation. I say you should be my way. This schedule should happen my way. Shooting should get over my way. You should behave my way. Everything doesn't go my way. So when things don't go my way, I say getting disturbed is normal. And so the world said expectation is normal. Expectation is not normal. Motivating people, guiding people, advising people, preparing for a situation, setting a goal, everything is normal. But then accepting things as they go and then again helping them to move ahead, that is the purpose of life. But we say expectation is normal and then we write a destiny of pain and suffering because people will not be my way. Situations also, how much ever you plan, will not be my way. There's only one thing that can be my way, how I'm feeling. And once that is my way, everything else goes very smooth. So acceptance is normal, not expectations.
Wow. So now we know that acceptance is normal, not expectations. So we all know that what all our emotions that all of us deal with every day. And in this interview, we were trying to get all the questions, all the emotions that I dealt with. I tried to put it here, and of course, I got my answers, ma'am. And I'm sure all the viewers who are watching, this is going to be a life changer interview. And there's so much that we have from Sister Shivani here across all the digital that we have. Ma'am's teachings, ma'am's lessons are always there. So I can never end my questions because it's endless. I'm dealing with every new thing every day. And but we would have to end this interview here. And with the note that we are so thankful, we are so grateful, ma'am, that you could be here with us and grace our platform, which is the Newsmakers. We have with us the eminent personality, and once again, thank you so very much, ma'am. Before I just go, I have a very, very quick advice for the viewers from yours.
Commit at least 15 minutes for self-care every day. Begin your morning with a few minutes of meditation and a few minutes of consuming spiritual content, which means content which is full of acceptance, happiness, unity, cooperation, content which you want to become, and then go out into the world, which means begin with strengthening yourself and then go out into the world. So commit at least 15 minutes for yourself on a daily basis, and all these so-called normal emotions will all fade away. Just because we are not normal here. We're not normal here actually. So just prioritize. I is the seed of life. From here grows the tree. We are watering the tree the whole day, and that's why we're always tired and short of time. Water the seed. Water the seed. It takes lesser time and it guarantees a healthy tree. Here's the seed, and everything else is the tree of life.
So very beautiful, ma'am. So very beautiful. Thank you so very much for being here. Om Shanti. And thank you so very much, viewers, for being with us every time you send your messages to us and your love to us through this number, which is here reflecting. So keep sending your love. And also, if you have a story to share, this is the couch where you can be and share your story. Till then, this is Simran signing off with the promise that I will be bringing you another very, very eminent personality. Goodbye and stay blessed. Om Shanti.